SBA will lend you up to $5 million with as little as 2.5% down to buy your own small business, like this Florida-based fireworks store that's asking $4.2 million and advertising over $892,000 per year in annual cash flow. Now, this business is one of the largest distributors in the state of Florida. They say they have a full employee base and that the owner only works on average about 20 hours per week. Now, of course, this is a highly seasonal business. It says in the listing they only have 3 total employees, but then during the busy season, they might have up to 45 seasonal employees. I'm gonna assume as the owner of this business, you're working an insane amount of hours during that 30 days leading up to the 4th of July, and then the rest of your year is pretty light. Now, this business is experiencing strong growth as the state of Florida did legalize fireworks on certain days of the year. So if you use a 10-year, 11.5% interest, 2.5% down SBA loan, your after loan cash flow is gonna be $148,000 per year, which is just terrible for a $4.2 million business. And really it's 4.4 when you include $200,000 of inventory that you have to purchase. And it gets even worse because this business is so seasonal. You're probably gonna need a lot of working capital if you're coming in before the busy season. You're really gonna need to time the period that you take over. If you are gonna buy a business like this, you definitely don't wanna take over anytime before May, because then you're gonna have to carry losses for a long period of time. You're gonna have to make your loan payments even though you don't really have much revenue coming in. So when you take all those things into account, the numbers will get even worse. And then of course, when you consider taxes, because you have to pay tax on the money that goes towards the debt pay down, so portion of your loan payment, the tax rate can hurt even more. So your cash flow is gonna get pretty low, in the low $100,000 most likely, maybe even less than 100K by the time you put everything, all the costs in. And that just doesn't make sense for a business that you're gonna have to work in a lot, and you're gonna put $4.4 million at risk. It just doesn't make sense. I think something less than $3 million, $3 million is probably a cap, is more reasonable for this particular business. I think we're probably pretty far apart as far as pricing. And one other thing that really scared me in this listing, and I don't know how a broker could put this in a listing, is that they only offered 14 days of training. And that's just ridiculous. Like, it shows that the seller doesn't have much vested interest in making sure that the buyer is very successful, and you should consider that a big red flag. So check out our search assistant if you want to find some deals that actually work, or reach out if you want to buy a business together.